And that takes us to the main event of the prelim. It's a nice veteran fight that we're looking forward to. I know Cub's your boy. Not sure if we're going to differ on this one, but let's see how it plays out. So, Cub comes in sporting a 26-11 record. He did come off of a recent win against Cron Gracie that we touched on earlier. But leading up to that, he was on a brutal losing streak. He had lost 4 in a row. He's had many credible fights. He's kind of never gotten over that hump, though, it seems. Frankie Edgar on multiple occasions, Max Holloway. This guy, from what I see, just seems to be good, but not great. The other thing I just wanted to touch on, he got injured in a grappling bout. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I'm curious to see how he bounces back from that one, but that didn't seem like a very good injury. Pineda, he's also been around forever, and he's fought in literally every league, including the UFC. He did make his return to the UFC in 2020, where, he looked great, and, he fed Herbie some elbows that kind of got him the win. Curious to see where you land on this one.
Yeah, so, here's the thing. Let's quickly touch on Pineda, because, he's the kind of guy that he's just been on and off outside the UFC for so long. The real thing about him, though, is that he's been in the UFC already. He's been in Legacy. He's been in Bellator. He's been in Fury. He's been in PFL. Mm-hmm. Now he's finally making his comeback. What do I have against this guy? I don't like that he's already 35 years old, has such a rocky career only because of bad decisions. You're failing banned substance tests twice in a row in fights that you maybe you could have won anyway.
I did read that he was loving the roids.
Mm-hmm. So that's what's really funny about him, right? Like, you finished both guys, you still tested positive, and so now he ended up coming back against Herbert Burns, Gilbert Burns' brother, and Gilbert Burns' brother. Remember, I kind of talked a little shit about him last week because he got that knee on Nate Landwehr, and he just, at that point, it was like his, free reign to be like, oh, you guys are talking shit about my striking. See, I show you, my striking is really good. Well, that was a really good knee and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, we saw Herbert Burns go into this fight. For sure, we definitely were on the Herbert Burns train in this one because Pineda was making a debut, hadn't fought in a very long time. Mm-hmm. But if you go look at Pineda's actual background, like the fact that he's touched gold in so many different, small organizations like Legacy and Fury, like these are good signs of just a fighter that does know how to win. Problem is that, what was he doing back then? How was he getting these wins done? So the Herbert Burns fight is a great example, but now you're taking on someone who can really do it all. And that's where, for me, Cub, like you said, if there was a fight t-shirt over the course of the years that I think is my favorite that I would buy 20 times over, give me 50 different color combinations of a Cub Swanson fight tee with his little cartoon bear and his little angry face. I'm in. Cub, hook it up, please, I beg you. So going into what we talked about, we understand that it's 4 losses, right? There's one thing that you said that I really am going to correct, and I'm going to prove it rather than just kind of say it. When you look at this man's record, these are the guys that I will die being like, I'm so glad I got to watch you live out your career. First loss, Pulver. Second loss, Aldo. Third loss, Lamas. Fourth loss, Edgar. Fifth loss, Holloway. Then his 4 fight loss losing streak is Ortega, Edgar again, Renato Moicano in his prime, and Shane Burgos, who was on a huge rise before he just kind of lost the wheels to his train. So when you say he wasn't great, but he was good, dude, he was great, just not a champion. Like, that's kind of the difference. Like, Ortega has touched gold. Frankie Edgar has touched gold. Max Holloway has touched gold. Chad Mendes came really close if he was healthy against maybe Conor McGregor. And Jose Aldo, we know the story. Jens Pulver, his first, loss in the WEC was to another champion. So he's a legend, bro. He's an absolute gamer. He's a legend. Now, do I think that this is a fight where he's absolutely going to win based on that? No. That's kind of why I brought up the titles. That's kind of why I brought up Pineda being the kind of guy that can very much sneak up on you. Hey, Parky Porter, how you doing out there? So that's where I kind of want to, shed some light on what could be a very huge, maybe not a huge upset, but a surprise for, say, the fan favorites and mainstream fans who just see, Cub Swanson's name and go, oh my God, I love him,
Yeah. For sure, and I think that's going to be instinctively what a lot of the bettors do this weekend. Mm-hmm. And so let's dive right into the line there. Who do you kind of see as the favorite?
Yeah, so like again, with kind of everything I just said, it'd be tough. It'd be really tough to not give. It's so hard to separate bias right now. Like I'm trying to separate my brain into two places right now, but it's just hard for me not to give Pineda some bump, and I don't know if it's enough bump for a favorite. So, I mean, you know what, man? I've been killing it. I'm gonna go with the border. No, I'm not gonna say pick him. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Look at the stress, guys. Look at the stress.
Yeah, like this is a tough one for me, guys. I'm really sorry, and I don't want to make Pies just stare at there. He's gonna start losing his suspense soon. He's like, hurry the fuck by, hurry the fuck up. It's tough. You know what? Cub Swanson minus 125.
Oh man, you really let your bias come into play here.
Yeah,
hey, you could have continued that streak of bell ringing, but Pineda does come in as the favorite. He's about a minus 150, and it's actually stuck right at that number as well.
So what is Cub, out of curiosity?
He's a plus 130.
Ooh, I came close to that. At least the range is there, so I'm still looking all right. No bellworthy, definitely not bellworthy, but it's like, you know, at least I got away with trying to sneak in a competitive line there.
Question for you real quick before we move on to this one.
Yeah,
do you think that fight, do you think that injury has anything, you know, any impact on this fight?
The thing about MMA, man, it's just really different because when you get injured, it depends how much you lose in terms of mobility. So I'm curious to see if he really does kind of want to take it to the ground to avoid any pressure on the knee, but I just don't see that happening. I see Cub wanting to keep it standing. If he takes too many leg kicks to that injured spot, I think then you might see some wincing and some things like that. If that happens, then, you know, switch up the game plan. But I don't see these guys taking a fight unless they can at least try and make that, you know, rectified as much as possible, you know? Like, there's just no reason for Cub Swanson, of all guys, to just put his career or even, you know, next fight on the line against a guy like Pineda without making sure he's ready for it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, stay tuned for that one. All of our picks are going to be locked in on Instagram, on Twitter. We'll be making sure to post all our plays, including the entire fight night card, all of our picks. As always, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Anything else you want to plug, Siraj?
You know, honestly, guys, this is probably gonna be my favorite card in a very, very long time, and so I'm gonna try my absolute best with Paisan to get as much, you know, content rolling out as we can for this week. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it, and I'm excited to, you know, maybe get together with you, Pies, and watch, because this is gonna be an absolute fire card. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I can't wait either. It was a pleasure,
good.
Siraj. Love talking to you, man.
You too, my boy. You know, maybe I'll be back in my Edward Snowden dungeon soon, but till then, peace out, y'all.
Later.